Hello, it's Jason here, and this is Night of the Living Dummies synopsis, explaining why. If you ever watched the TV series, you'll be wondering why they didn't make an episode 1, but they made an episode 2, episode 3, and Night of the Living Dummies Bride. And for some reason, they didn't make an episode 1. And this is telling you why they didn't make it, or a good reason for it. And I think once I tell you the story of Night of the Living Dummy 1, you'll get a clear picture of why it didn't make a number 1 and went straight to number 2. So yeah. Okay, this is the story of Night of the Living Dummy 1. I'm going to tell you now. First of all, I'm going to start off. It's about two twin sisters, or sisters, are walking home from school or walking wherever they're from, and they see a dumpster, like in America they call them bins, dumpster, and they find a dummy behind it, like a consultative one, where you like talk out of it, and they find it, and they pick it up and bring it home and show the mum and dad, and both sisters want the dummy, and only one of them end up using it, and the older sister, I think, uses it for talent shows and all that kind of stuff, and get quite a lot of money from the dummy, because she's performing in like plays and stuff with it, and the other sister gets really jealous about it. So, and the other sister tells the mum and dad, and they say to share the dummy, and the dummy is called Slappy, by the way, if I haven't said it. And yeah, the dummy's called Slappy that they find behind the dumpster, and they both want it, and the other sister won't share it. So the dad goes to a pawn shop and buys a second dummy for the other sister, and the other sister decides to call that second dummy Mr. Wood. Don't ask me why. And Mr. Wood has a special card in his pocket with some kind of spell on it, and she says the spell, and nothing really happens. And anyway, the other sister has a dummy called Slappy, and she now has a new dummy called Mr. Wood. Now, she also takes Mr. Wood to a birthday party type thing, so she can do a little consultative with the dummy. But it doesn't go as well as the other sisters did. The dummy, Mr. Wood, starts spitting out green vomit all over the audience, and basically over the teachers and everything there, and she takes it home. She gets expelled from the school or suspended, and her mum and dad take the dummy off the other sister and punishes her really. But she keeps saying that it wasn't her, it was the dummy, and by that point she is convinced that Mr. Wood, the dummy, is evil, and is really getting angry about it. And so she puts him in a suitcase and buries him, and that doesn't work. He comes back, sitting on the bed just like, hello, I'm not gone, you're not getting rid of me. Then after that, later on in the story, Mr. Wood whispers in the sisters' ears. They are his slaves now, and she punches Mr. Wood in the face, one of the sisters, and Mr. Wood gets angry and punches one of the sisters in the stomach. And then after that, both the sisters try to decapitate Mr. Wood by ripping his arms and legs apart and taking his head off, thinking that would kill him. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and he builds himself back together again, and yeah. Okay, and then Mr. Wood later on goes to say, I'm being serious. The only way to make you know that I am being serious is that one of you have to die to know that he's serious. So yeah, he tries to kill one of them in order to have them be slaves, and then the dog Barky gets in the way, and then Mr. Wood starts choking Barky the dog to death. Like, the dog's almost dying because the dummy's choking it. One of the girls managed to pull the dog away from Mr. Wood before he kills it. That's another reason why it probably wasn't on the TV show, because it was a kid's TV show. And he just strangling the dog and he almost kills it. Luckily the girls push him off the dog just before the dog dies. Luckily the girls hear a steamroller outside their street, so they go outside and grab Mr. Wood, the dummy, and put him in front of the steamroller, hoping that the steamroller will run over the dummy and kill him. Unfortunately, Barky the dog runs in front of the steamroller as well as Mr. Wood, and the girls, the twin sisters, are forced to let go of Mr. Wood in order to save the dog. They save the dog, Mr. Wood gets away from the steamroller before it gets him, but unfortunately another steamroller comes out of nowhere and crushes Mr. Wood, just as he thought he was going to get away. And as Mr. Wood gets crushed, the remainders of his pottery, like substance he's made from, scatters into millions of pieces, and a green like gas rises from the corpse of the dead toy, Mr. Wood. And the driver of the steamroller comes out and thought he ran over a kid, but they say that don't worry, it was just their doll and you can keep the corpse. Now it was just in bits, so surely he's dead now, but there was a green gas coming from the corpse into the air. The twin sisters decide to go home, thinking that they have victory and they have won the day. And then when they get home, once the girls arrive back home, Slappy, the previous doll that they had when they found it at the beginning of the story, says to Chrissy, the younger sister, this is what he says: "Who is going to shut the open window? Hey slave, is that other guy gone? I thought he'd never leave." And then he screeched with an evil laugh. Basically what that means is Slappy, the other doll, is alive, and he says in a sarcastic way, "I'm glad that other guy gone," meaning Mr. Wood. So he's glad that Mr. Wood is gone. And I don't know whether he's been alive this whole time and he's just been waiting for Mr. Wood to die and then he can kick in and take over, or when Mr. Wood died that a gas must have went into him maybe. I don't know, but all I know is on the second book we find the same card that was in the first Mr. Wood's jacket in Slappy's jacket on the second book. Now if you want to read the whole story start from end, I do have a little synopsis in the link below if you want to click on that. But yeah, I think I covered most of it, so yeah, and some of the many reasons why they didn't make an episode on the TV show are probably because the dog almost died, which is violent for a kid's show. He mentions death a lot in there, it's just very gruesome, and it's probably because the story of the living dummy is mostly towards Slappy, and this is like a completely different story about a completely different dummy, whereas all the other stories, number 2, number 3, Bride of Slappy, all feature the main dummy Slappy, but this one features a different main character called Mr. Wood. I don't know why Slappy became more popular in the Goosebumps community and Mr. Wood didn't, but for some reason the Slappy catches more of an attention than Mr. Wood does, probably because of the name and the cool suit he wears. And yeah, so technically Night of the Living Dummy 2 is Slappy's first story, because Night of the Living Dummy 1 is about a different dummy altogether, really. So that answers your question. Why was there never a Night of the Living Dummy 1 episode of Goosebumps the TV show? Apparently there's a movie coming out soon. I don't know whether that's going to feature Slappy or Mr. Wood. I hope your future's sloppy. But anyway, that's it, guys. Yeah, before I go, I forgot to mention one thing. If you've been watching this video, you're wondering why there's pictures of Sloppy and this other dummy. The dummy with red hair strangling the girl, and the other picture with the dummy throwing up green goo all over the girls. And like the picture with him, he's wearing red and blue jeans. A red top and blue jeans. That's Mr. Wood. And the other pictures with it's a dummy with a suit, they're Sloppy. I mean, this picture I'm showing right now is Mr. Wood, and this picture I'm showing right now is Sloppy. Okay, bye guys.